So before we get started with today's video, I had a viewer send me an email the other day and wanted to know what was my most important tool in the shop. And I would have to say this would be my buddy KC. He is he's quite the dog, and he stays with me down here all during the day, and he helps me get down to these tight tolerances, don't you, buddy? Hey, you gonna look at the camera? Okay, all right, well there's KC, so we'll move on with the next video. Okay, so here's my little honing station I got set up, and I'm gonna explain, you know, kind of how this thing works. If you look over on the left hand side, you'll see a beam that extends off of the crane that I've added in the shop, and I've got two shocks off of a Toyota Land Cruiser that allows me to move the beam up and down in a stroked position. Inside the honing tank I have a Sunnin cylinder hone, and I'll migrate in between coarse and fine stones as the honing process takes place, but these are real quality stones, and they really allow me to get down to a 1/2 thousandths in the cylinder, and I really like how those work. But so I've got a oil pump out of a 1967 Chevrolet that sits in the bottom of the tank, and a variable speed controller on it so that I can control the amount of oil flow. But I'll turn that on, and oil is driven by a motor on the side of the pump that pumps the honing oil into the cylinder, and that oil helps remove the swarf, which is cast iron material and fragmented stone that's removing material from inside of the block. And so that's kind of my honing station there. It doesn't look like much, but I can get it very accurate. So get the cylinders very accurate. So I'm pleased with how it functions. So we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so here's the number 4 cylinder, and we'll see if we can do this without interfering with the shot. Alright, we'll take a measurement. Alright, so I'm going to turn the dial bore gauge around so you can kind of see what's happening here. Alright, so I'm at the bottom of the cylinder, and you can see that Alright, so I'm at the bottom of the cylinder, and you can see that I'm 2 thousandths undersized here. I'll come on up midway, and I'm 2 thousandths, maybe a tenth or 2 over in the center, and at the top I'm about 2 over. So all in all, both of these cylinders are that's about 1/1000th off of my target. So I think what we'll do is I'll send that stone in there again, and let's try to get another 1/1000ths of material out so I don't have to work so hard with the finishing stone. So here we go. Here. 1.5, 1, 1.5, 1.5. So we'll hold there, and we'll go in with the finishing stones, and I'll get that set up so you can see that finishing process. Okay, I'm about 1/2 thousandths off, so I'm gonna go ahead and take out that extra 1/2 because okay, I'm 1/2 thousandths within 1/2 thousandths, and this one does not want to fit. Now, all right, so you can see this is exactly what I mean by hand fit here. Even though these things measure the same, I love the way that piston fits in that cylinder. I can stick it there and it stays kind of in place. But this piston will not fit in this hole, but it fits nicely in this hole. So we'll mark that piston for that hole, and we'll mark that piston for that hole. And that is what you call a hand fit. You know, that looks good. Okay, so let's move on to number 2. All right, let's take a look. I'm still a tad bit undersized, so since these things are acting funny, let's see here. Yeah, we're gonna stop right there. I really like that. Yeah, and it won't go there, so I really like that. So that'll be number 2. We're good to go. Okay, so now that we've got our cylinders honed out to size, we're going to send a Plateau brush down in the cylinders and just put a Plateau on that cross hatching in there. So stand by. Here we go. There's piston number 1, and I'm 100% satisfied with that. That feels just right. Cross hatching looks good. Okay, so let's slip fit number 2. And, that feels good to me. So here's cylinder number 3. And I'm okay with that. And cylinder number 4. I'm okay with that. Okay, so we've got our pistons hand fitted. We know what goes where. We went through the boring process and did a rough dimension. Then we went through a honing process with some coarse stones and got it close to our final dimension. Then we used some fine stones to get down, you know, a thousandths, half a thousandths at a time. And I just would like to add, you know, for some of you viewers out there, when you do this process, you want to make sure that the main bearings are torqued to specifications so that it pulls. You want to do all your machining as if the engine were assembled. So the main bearings are under torque, and that will move the block a little bit. But and I like to try to get them down to at least a half a thousandths from top to bottom of the cylinder. And those sun-in hones really allow me to do that. So okay, so we're done with the honing process. I hope you enjoyed the videos. Give me a thumbs up or subscribe. Or if you have any questions or comments, send them through the comment link or email me at chadlhightower@gmail.com. So thank you very much for watching.